It's not the same caravan.
It's not the same fight.
It's twice the fucking size of the last one.
Turkish, the fight is twice the size. And my ma still needs a caravan. I like to look after me man. It's a fair deal. Take it.
Snatch was not just a crime film. It was a chaotic carnival of gangsters, gypsies, bare-knuckle boxers, and one very questionable caravan. It became Guy Ritchie's masterpiece of speed, wit, and violence, cut together like a machine gun firing jokes and punches in equal measure. But behind the fast edits and snarling dogs was a story just as wild. Brad Pitt begging for a role, actors who could not stop laughing, accidents that turned into iconic scenes, and a diamond at the center of it all that was almost stolen off set for real. These are 20 wild facts about Snatch, the kind of outrageous details that make the film as legendary as the characters who stumble through it. Stay with us until the end for some bonus secrets that even Ritchie's biggest fans might not know. Number 1. Brad Pitt begged to be in the movie.
So what's a heck of 2 roof lights? The stylish house frame furniture. And the Scotter cushions with the matching shack pack cover. Yeah. Right. It's a terrible parcel to the Periwinkle Blue bags. Have I made myself clear, bags?
Brad Pitt had just come off Fight Club, but instead of chasing another Hollywood blockbuster, he begged Guy Ritchie to put him in Snatch. Pitt loved Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels so much that he called Ritchie directly. Ritchie said yes on one condition. Pitt had to play someone unrecognizable. That is how Mickey, the fast-talking Irish gypsy, was born. Number 2. No one could understand Mickey's accent.
Now, there is a problem with pikeys or gypsies.
What you doing, Potter? Get out the way back.
You can't really understand much of what is being said.
You tell me. Come about the caravan.
Mr. O'Neill.
Come on. Tell me, Mickey.
It's not Irish. It's not English.
How are you?
Well, what is my kindness for the horses, you know?
It's just pikey.
Pitt's gypsy accent was so thick that test audiences complained that they could not understand a word he said. Ritchie decided to lean into it. Instead of fixing the audio, he made the accent part of the joke. The more audiences strained to understand Mickey, the funnier it became. Pitt turned incomprehensible mumbling into one of his most iconic performances. Number 3. The diamond was real. Almost too real. The 86-carat diamond at the heart of the film was not just a prop. Ritchie wanted it to look authentic, so he brought in a professional jeweler to craft a convincing replica. It looked so real that crew members joked about stealing it, and extra security was hired just in case. The diamond was not priceless, but during filming, it sure felt like it. Number 4. The dog was a nightmare to work with. Remember the dog that swallows the squeaky toy? That was not in the script. The dog really did swallow a squeaker from one of its toys, and Ritchie thought it was hilarious. He kept it in, turning a random accident into one of the funniest running gags in the film. Number 5. Vinnie Jones nearly walked away.
In 2 films, to get to the level of what he can do is incredible.
You're having second thoughts. You're shrinking. And your 2 little balls are shrinking with you.
All I'm worried about is sort of overacting. I don't want to overact, so, I mean, we're nearly there now, and he hasn't said that. He's quite happy with me,
Vinnie Jones was already known as a tough guy, but he almost quit Snatch. He did not like how his character, Bullet Tooth Tony, was written. Ritchie sat him down and promised to tailor the role to fit him better. Once they made changes, Jones leaned into it, and his quiet menace became unforgettable. Number 6. The film was shot in just 10 weeks. Despite its complex editing and massive cast, Snatch was filmed in only 10 weeks. Ritchie kept the pace relentless, often shooting multiple scenes in one day. That energy bled into the movie itself, giving it the frantic, high-speed feel that made it so unique. 7. Brad Pitt paid next to nothing. For an A-list actor fresh off Fight Club, Brad Pitt could have asked for a massive paycheck. Instead, he shocked everyone by agreeing to work for a fraction of his normal salary. At the time, Pitt was commanding more than $20 million per film, yet for Snatch he accepted only around $5 million. Why would one of the biggest stars in the world slash his own price? The answer was simple. Pitt believed Guy Ritchie was the future of British cinema. He had seen Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels and was blown away by its style, speed, and swagger. He wanted in, no matter the cost. For Pitt, it was not about money. It was about being part of something groundbreaking, the kind of film that could redefine a genre. The gamble paid off. Not only did Pitt create one of his most memorable characters, but Snatch also introduced him to a whole new audience. Fans who loved him as the golden boy in Hollywood now saw him as fearless, willing to bury his looks under an incomprehensible accent and filthy clothes. By taking less money, Pitt bought himself credibility, artistic freedom, and a permanent place in cinema history. Number 8. The bare-knuckle fight scenes were improvised. Pitt's bare-knuckle boxing scenes were not carefully choreographed. They were built loosely on the day, with Pitt encouraged to throw himself around and make it messy. The result was a raw, chaotic look that fit Mickey's unpredictable fighting style perfectly. Number 9. Jason Statham was almost a nobody. Before Snatch, Jason Statham was still a former market trader trying to break into acting. He had impressed Ritchie in Lock, Stock, but Snatch gave him his real breakthrough. His role as Turkish, the hapless boxing promoter, cemented him as a leading man and launched his career. That performance turned him from an unknown into one of the most recognizable action stars of the 2000s. Number 10. Benicio del Toro was killed off early by accident. Frankie Four Fingers, played by Benicio del Toro, was originally meant to be far more central to the story. Guy Ritchie had written him into multiple subplots, tying together the diamond theft and several of the London gangsters. But when del Toro's schedule conflicted with the shoot, Ritchie had no choice but to scale back. Instead of rewriting the film from scratch, he made the radical choice to eliminate Frankie early on. The result was accidental brilliance. Frankie's abrupt death shocked audiences and reinforced the idea that no one in Ritchie's world was safe, no matter how important they seemed. In a film full of unpredictable turns, killing off a star of del Toro's caliber so quickly gave the story an edge of chaos and black comedy. Critics later noted that the randomness of Frankie's fate actually made the film feel sharper and more dangerous, as if the rules of storytelling themselves had been tossed aside. Ironically, del Toro's brief but unforgettable performance became one of the movie's most talked about elements, proving that sometimes less really is more. Number 11. The guns were all deactivated. Because the UK has strict laws about firearms, every gun in Snatch was deactivated. They looked real, but none could fire. The actors had to mime recoil, and sound effects were added later. Despite the fakes, the gunplay feels more intense than most Hollywood action movies. Number 12. Dennis Farina improvised his best lines. American actor Dennis Farina, who played Cousin Avi, improvised many of his lines, including his frustrated curses at London's quirks. His outbursts were so natural that Ritchie just let the camera roll. Farina's raw annoyance added a layer of authenticity to the American outsider in a British crime circus. Number 13. The film nearly got an X rating. The violence, swearing, and dark humor pushed the British ratings board to the edge. Early cuts were threatened with an X rating, which would have destroyed its release. Ritchie trimmed a few seconds here and there, especially in the fight scenes, to get an R rating instead. Number 14. The pikey accent was based on real life. Brad Pitt's unforgettable performance as Mickey would not have worked without his chaotic and nearly indecipherable accent. To get it right, Pitt immersed himself in the world of Irish travelers, often called pikeys, a marginalized group with a culture and dialect of their own. He watched hours of recordings, met with members of the community, and even lived among them briefly to absorb their rhythm of speech, hand gestures, and humor. What sounded to audiences like outrageous comedy was actually rooted in authenticity. Pitt insisted on grounding the character in truth, even if viewers could not always understand what he was saying. Ironically, his accent served a dual purpose. It made Mickey hilarious, but it also made him unpredictable and dangerous. That balance of absurdity and menace became one of the most memorable parts of Snatch, and it showed Pitt's commitment to disappearing into even the strangest of roles. Number 15. The film made $83 million on a $10 million budget. Snatch was never expected to be a mainstream hit. With a modest budget of $10 million, it was considered a risky gamble, especially given its heavy accents, fast dialogue, and unapologetically gritty British humor. But word of mouth spread quickly. Audiences were drawn to its razor-sharp editing, outrageous characters, and clever storytelling. By the end of its run, the film had raked in over $83 million worldwide, turning it into one of the most profitable British films of its time. The success not only cemented Guy Ritchie's reputation as a new directing force, but also helped redefine what international audiences were willing to embrace. For a foul-mouthed, violent, and eccentric movie, Snatch proved that originality could be just as bankable as Hollywood polish. Number 16. Madonna and Guy Ritchie met through Snatch. While the movie was in production, Madonna was introduced to Ritchie. They began dating soon after, and the relationship became tabloid fuel for years. In a strange way, Snatch was responsible for one of the most talked about celebrity marriages of the early 2000s. Number 17. Brad Pitt almost knocked himself out. During one of the intense boxing sequences, Brad Pitt threw a punch with so much force that he accidentally clipped himself in the jaw and nearly knocked himself out. At first, the crew laughed, thinking Pitt was playing it up for the scene, but he later admitted the blow really hurt and left him dizzy. Instead of breaking character, he shook it off and kept going. That reckless, chaotic energy ended up blending perfectly into Mickey's unpredictable personality, making the accident feel like almost part of the performance itself. Number 18. The film helped define Ritchie's style. The quick cuts, overlapping dialogue, freeze frames, and playful editing all became Guy Ritchie's signature style. He used Snatch as the film that truly cemented his voice. Every Ritchie movie since has carried echoes of this film's strange, stylish DNA. Number 19. A real robbery happened during filming. Life imitated art when one of the production's trucks was actually broken into and robbed during shooting. Expensive props and equipment vanished overnight. The irony was not lost on the cast, who joked that the thieves were probably inspired by the film itself. Number 20. The dog was almost the star. The dog that swallows the squeaky toy became so popular during test screenings that audiences asked for more of him. Ritchie considered expanding its role, but ultimately kept it as a running gag. The squeak became an accidental symbol of the film's mix of menace and absurdity. And if you thought those were surprising, here's a few bonus secrets for the fans who stuck around until the end. Bonus secrets. Bonus 1. Brad Pitt allegedly stayed in character off-set, so much that he confused locals with his mumbled pikey accent, making people wonder if that was how he really spoke. Bonus 2. Jason Statham actually helped Guy Ritchie choreograph some of the con artist routines, drawing on his real past as a street hustler before his acting career took off. Bonus 3. In a deleted scene, Mickey wins money off Bullet Tooth Tony in an arm wrestling match. Ritchie ended up cutting it because he wanted Tony to remain intimidating, but fans still talk about it as one of the great lost moments of Snatch. Snatch was not just a crime caper. It was chaos wrapped in diamonds, caravans, and Brad Pitt's indecipherable voice. It was Guy Ritchie at his sharpest, building a world where every character was absurd and every twist stranger than the last. If you want more wild and weird movie stories, the kind of behind-the-scenes chaos most people never hear about, make sure to like this video and subscribe. We are only just getting started. This is Strange Flick Facts, where we uncover the bizarre truths behind your favorite films.